Welcome back to Division I Rejects. The start of football season means the days of talking about random shit and speculation. And this guy's traveling here, or he said this, she said, they said, the dog said, it's over with, fellas. What's not over with is that heinous ankle wrap you got going on there.
Hey.
You're keeping it elevated, though. That's good work.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Trevor. We're glad to have you back. I shouldn't rip on you. Welcome back.
Thanks, Kobe. Seems really sincere. I appreciate it.
I'm glad to have you back, Trevor.
Thank
Extremely.
you, Kobe. I'm glad to be back.
Gavin is here as well. We got a much more full crew than last episode where I was a solo man. But today, nonetheless, we've got quite the man joining us here in a little bit. That's Trase Jeffries, one of the newest Division I Rejects sponsored athletes, the offensive lineman from Pittsburgh State, reigning All-American honors last year. Pittsburgh State obviously gave Ferris probably the best game of the year outside of the Grand Valley loss. They gave Ferris their best game of the year into the playoffs. Ferris beat them by like 3 points on a field goal, which was that was a pretty solid game. We've talked about that a little bit, I think, before. But the Gorillas are going to be super poised to have an awesome year in the MIAA. Them and Northwest Missouri State obviously going to battle that out. So we'll talk to Trase here shortly. This is episode 123 on August 28th. And fellas, week 0 is not just about the USCs of the world, the Navies, and the Notre Dames of the world. We had some NAIA football played this weekend. A good amount of it, too, actually. I was looking at the scoreboard. There's quite a few games. So we're going to recap the week 0 games, the big college football, and also the NAIA side of things. Tyson Bagent, looking at the D2 side of things, Tyson Bagent from Shepherd University is, I guess, reportedly QB2 in Chicago, which is a surprise or not a surprise?
Not a surprise to me.
Yeah. Right?
If
or
you
anyone
know
who's watched him, right?
Like, if you know who he is.
Yeah. Which is sweet because we were just talking. He is a dog. We were just talking. The D2 guy who's balled out has a locked up, basically what it seems to be a locked up backup job in the NFL, whereas guys like Max Duggan just got waived by the Rams. Pretty crazy stuff.
Shit ain't sweet.
No, it ain't. There's some other D2 guys, fighting for roster spots. We're going to talk a lot about those guys. Ronnie Brown, one of his teammates at Shepherd, talk about Caleb Murphy, Trevor Nowaski, and then another SVSU guy, Nick Whiteside, Keelan Harris from the Falcons out of Oklahoma Baptist. Just some of those names we'll throw out there. And also on the NFL piece, Matt Stafford wants to get rid of every single cell phone in the LA Rams facility.
Yeah, you're definitely trying to get people's attention the way you're saying that, Kobe.
It's pretty good, isn't it?
That was quite good, but it's a really weird story.
It's a weird story. We'll recap that later. Matt Stafford, apparently his age is starting to show. Maybe it's all those hits to the head. But as always, you can watch this episode on YouTube. Don't forget about the timestamps in the chapters below. Fast forward to any part of the video that sounds remotely interesting. And you can find those timestamps, on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast. Catch us on there. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram. Hit the subscribe button. Let's keep getting that up. Before we get into all that great conversation, let's head to the conversation with Trase. Join the show tonight, the newest D1R athlete, an All-American offensive lineman from Pittsburgh State, a man who plays football in the jungle. It's Trase Jeffries. What's up, man?
What's good, man? How you doing tonight?
I'm pumped to have you on here, man. That has got to be one of the most electric atmospheres in small college football. I can't say I've experienced it in person, but you don't get a name for the jungle just because. Like, that place is ridiculous.
Yeah, you need to come check it out. It's pretty cool. Actually, our first home opener this Thursday. We have a DJ in the end zone. We have fantastic support. It's crazy.
You're kidding.
No joke at all. DJ in the end zone. And you ever come to Pittsburgh, you drive around town, you'll see nothing but gorilla statues, even at the local Taco Bell.
I love that, dude. You guys have like the walk to the stadium too, like the gorilla walk too, right? Which is something that I think a lot of D2 teams would love to do, but unfortunately they just don't have the people show out to make it the walk or whatever. You guys fill that bitch up. It's like a FBS team coming through all the way to the stadium.
Man, yeah, it's like, obviously it's all Pittsburgh, but you got like the frats and sororities. They'll be up there tailgating at 8 a.m., 10 a.m. No matter what time the game starts, they'll be up there, having a great time. And then by the time we hit our gorilla walk, which we do from our indoor to the stadium, which I'd say is probably about maybe a quarter mile, maybe a little less. But yeah, they just fill it up. We got the band in front of us playing, the dance team, cheerleaders in front of us. It goes pretty crazy. And then we have our little theme song as we're making our way into the stadium, and we touch our little gorilla statue. as we go in,
It's
and
dope.
I mean, there's nothing like it.
Is there like a go-to for the DJ in there? Like, what's the? I'm trying to think. Like, South Carolina's got Sandstorm. Like, do y'all have a song?
So this is actually our first time having one, but I'm
Okay.
sure we'll hear "Welcome to the Jungle" many times.
Yes, dude. Yes, that'd be sick, dude. That's easy. That's a layup. Like, that's actually a layup.
Oh, for sure. No, I mean,
That's awesome.
when you've been here long enough, it gets a little, overplayed, but no, it's still awesome.
I feel that. I feel that. But yeah, for everyone there for the first time, they're like, "That's awesome." Gorilla, dope mascot, but the other animal and a much more popular mascot, the bulldog. Did I read you got a little English bulldog?
I do. I have a little purebred English
Let's
bulldog.
go, dude.
His name is Meatball. Actually,
No,
my
it is not.
fiance
His
named
name's
him.
Meatball.
Yeah, yeah. So I wanted to name him Appa from Avatar: The Last Airbender because
Yes,
he's like
dude.
gray and white. So I thought that would be a great name, but it was for her birthday, so she got to name him. She named him Meatball.
That is awesome, man. Yeah, and I'm a little bit
Yeah.
late, but congrats on the engagement. That is awesome news. I'm excited
I
for you guys.
appreciate
Obviously, I
that.
mean, shit, we just met, but I'm excited for you.
No, I
We've got
appreciate that a lot.
an English bulldog. He's about to be 6 in November. Sarge,
Oh,
dude,
that is awesome. I didn't know
he's
you have one. That
it's
is
not as
cool.
good
I
as
love English
Meatball, but
Bulldogs.
Sarge is pretty dope.
No, that is pretty dope. I love English Bulldogs. They're the best.
That's awesome, dude. But we can talk a little bit about ball. You just got named captain again this year. I have to imagine that's a great feeling, especially, talking with you, being a guy that transferred in, right? You're not a guy who came here right out of high school, coming from Abilene Christian, and coming in there and earning those guys' respect, and to be a two-time captain has just got to be an awesome feeling heading into this year.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing like that. Just, I mean, having all those coaches and then obviously all of your teammates just like choose you as that guy to represent your team. And I mean, yeah, I can't wait. I'm so happy. That's probably one of my favorite achievements of college football right there is being a
That's
team
awesome.
captain. And no, I mean, it is. I mean, kind of like Tom Brady. He said that was his favorite achievement ever at Michigan was being named the team captain by his teammates. And that's just kind of how I look at it and feel. And then at Pitt State, obviously, we have great tradition. I mean, you got names like Sam Pittman, who's the head coach at Arkansas. He was the team captain. Some other guys. I mean, can't think of his name. He was the TCU head coach. I believe he's at UT now. He used to be a G at Pitt State. But we just had some big names at Pitt State as a Division II school throughout the years. And just to be on a list of team captains along with people like that is amazing.
Elite company, dude, and a program that has won, I believe, more games than any other team in Division II. Talking about, the first thing that I tell everyone when they come on here, this is not a media day. Like, I don't operate this like a media day. But at the MIAA media day, you had talked about how last year, even though giving your guys success, you had the undefeated regular season, the outright MIAA title, that still wasn't meeting the expectations for you guys as a program. And that was something that you talk about, those expectations are so high when you are a Gorilla and you play, in Carnegie Stadium.
Yeah, I mean, those fans, our donors, I mean, they do so much for us. So that way, we can put another banner. I mean, we have 4 national championships.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I said, 12-1, it sounds great on paper. But, like I said, when you're Gorilla, you know what you signed up for. We're playing for national championships. I mean, we're not content with an MIAA championship, which I believe is impressive.
Yeah,
But I
absolutely.
mean, if you want to beat the best or be the best, you got to beat the best. We played Ferris State. Obviously, walked away, losing 14-17. Defense played tremendous that game. Offense, we didn't have our best game, but I mean, there's just some situations there that we didn't, get. But I mean, we won that national championship, and I feel like we're even hungrier this year. Like we know what it takes now. And Coach Wright, our head coach, has been doing a tremendous job just leading us and getting us prepared.
Yeah, and it's gonna be exciting too because I know you're sure you guys see all of it. Like even from us, like the conversation is Ferris this, Ferris that, and Ferris is a chance to be an even better team than they were last year, which is crazy to think about because they have won those championships. But I say that to say that you guys have a chance to be in that same boat as far as the amount of talent that you return. And just like you said, these guys have tasted what it feels like to be deep into the playoffs, to play that quality of football against quality opponents. So I would put you guys, from an outsider's perspective, in that same boat of, yeah, this team's had a lot of success, but they certainly have the potential on paper to go out and be a better producing team, as crazy as that sounds, because you had the regular season and you had the success that you did in 2022.
Yeah. I mean, Ferris State, they obviously they deserve all that praise. They're back-to-back national champions. But I mean, yeah, obviously you hear that talk about us, Grand Valley State, maybe in that same boat.
Hmm.
I mean, I think we just got to prove it, though. I
Yeah.
mean, potential sounds great, but if you don't go out there and perform every week, starting with this game one, then it's all for nothing. So we did return some great guys. You know, we got Chad Dotson, our returning quarterback, who's phenomenal. And I feel like just him having some experience, he's going to take another step. I mean, he's a
Yeah.
great guy. He's also a team captain this year. Devin Garrison, he's our tight end. That dude is like a Travis Kelce. He's unique. Like having him in our offense, it's just crazy. And he's even put weight on. I want to say like 30, maybe even 40 pounds,
Damn.
to where now he can get active in that run game. But yeah, we got guys like that. It makes my job a little bit easier. I mean, all you got to do is throw it up, and Devin Garrison will catch it somewhere.
I love that, dude. He was on. We just reviewed Wayne Cavadi's Harlan Hill watch list, and he was a name that actually made it on there. Now, would that be a long shot? Maybe. A tight end has never won that award. If there's a dude that could do it, it might be Garrison for you guys. You know what I mean? So, shit, if he's the Travis Kelce of D2, we'll take that. Now, you talked about MIAA championship, especially outright, is impressive. The depth in that conference, especially the top level of that conference, is some really great competition. The rings you guys got, speaking of Travis Kelce, looked like the damn thing that they got the other year. Those things were incredible, dude.
Yeah, they turned out much better than I thought. One of our former team captains from last year got together with our creative graphic designer on campus, and they actually designed it together. But yeah, it was way bigger than I was expecting, and yeah, it was pretty cool. But hoping to go get a bigger and better one.
Yeah, we need to one up, right? That's awesome.
For
Any
sure.
big surprises? Without revealing too much, of course, any big surprises personnel from you guys coming out of camp? Anything you're pleasantly surprised by, whether it be offensively or just as a unit?
I would just say like offensively, just like I feel like how much more like focused in we are this year, just as compared to last year. Which I mean, I feel like we did great last year, but I feel like we've taken it even a step further.
Mm,
And then I'm just excited to watch Dubin McQuanklo.
okay.
He's our DN. He's an edge rusher, number 32. This guy, I mean, his get off the ball is insane. I'm expecting a big year from him. I wouldn't be surprised. Actually, I mean, I would call it, he has potential to be the defensive player of the year in the MIAA conference for sure.
Okay.
He's that kind of player. And then just excited for some of our younger guys that have been behind All-Americans that are finally getting the opportunity to play this year. And I'm just excited to see everybody, their game come into fruition and just for us to play together as one.
Yeah, man, you're talking about the defensive end. I mean, you get a front row seat to that every day, and honestly, that makes you that much better as well, right? Talking about, iron sharpens iron, and
Sure.
I talk with Trevor, who isn't here right now, but we, does a podcast with me. Who's
Yeah.
he'll be our starting left tackle up here, and he sees some solid competition, whether that be from the Grand Valleys and the Ferrises of the world, and lining up against the Caleb Murphys and those type of category of guys. So it's always fun to quiz him on the. Because he sees all these different guys every week in, week out from the GLIAC. So seeing it from that side, I'm assuming that you definitely have an eye for some guys who are going to make some waves. But let's talk about that season opener for a little bit. Just in a couple of days, like you said, Thursday kickoff for you guys against, we talked about the upper part of that MIAA conference, super competitive. I would put Washburn right in that category with teams like you guys, Northwest Missouri State, you talk about Nebraska Kearney, like those kind of squads. Talk about the tests that they pose for you guys right off the rip.
Yeah, so Washburn, I mean, like you just said, they're always in the top of the MIAA. They're a well-coached team. They're not really sloppy. They don't make mistakes, and they play hard, like, no matter what. I mean, I saw this clip from 2 years ago to where, like, this corner just chased the dude down, like, 30 yards, 2 yards away from scoring, punched it out, and then they got the touchback, got the ball back. They play hard. They're well-coached. They do their assignment well. They returning 2 starters on defense, field safety and the defensive end, but 3 of the D linemen that are now starters, they were rotational players. So just kind of been doing my, study on them. But like you said, they're a good team. They're in the upper half of the MIAA. And I think it would definitely be a good test for us to open up the season,
For sure.
see where we're all about. And hopefully we can fire on all cylinders.
Yeah, I feel you, man. And it's like, they got a lot, I shouldn't say a lot, but they got a good amount of love in that preseason poll. But then we're like, you look at those, and obviously I'm going to repost them because that's just like an easy post for me, like just automatic, just to throw that stuff back out there. But it's like, you just can't buy into that stuff that much, looking at and giving all that. But they definitely will be a quality opponent for you guys. Like you said, you got to respect them all. Now, again, talking about what you guys return and why, big reason why I say you could actually make a jump this next year, whether that margin is in very large or whether it's just a small margin, because you think about it, it's not like you guys need to make a huge jump to get where you want to be, right? It's just little moments and little different situations. But when you bring back 14 of your 22 starters, whether it be on both sides of the ball, that's got to be really exciting for you guys. And then, like you said, you're going to have some underclassmen. They're going to have some really big opportunities, especially early, to get their feet wet in, whether it be, either of those units early on.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely lost some star players, like I'm sure everybody has.
Yeah.
But I feel like we've done a great job. Like our coaching staff has been tremendous. And as far as recruiting, when you covered Pitt State earlier this year, you mentioned how we got like 3 transfers. We actually have 4 transfer linemen from
Okay.
FCS schools, or 3 of them from FCS. One's from another D2 from West
Wow.
Texas, and they've stepped in and they've done a great job just filling in and competing for starting roles. And we'll see how it shakes out on Thursday on who's starting or whatnot. But yeah, I mean, even at receiver, just every position, I felt like maybe we lacked depth or needed some more players. Coaching staff has done a great job, and then obviously it's a little bit easier recruiting when you're winning. So,
Hell yeah,
and then
dude.
our facilities make it a little bit easier. Having an indoor, having a nice little stadium we have. Great
Yeah.
weight room, great medical training room. I mean, we're just blessed that Pitt State. I would say we have FCS level, resources.
Mm-hmm. For sure, man. Yeah, and it's like I make the analogy a little bit of like the NFL team that knows they're poised to make a run, like they throw all their chips in, right? And D2, yeah, it's not exactly apples to apples. Like I'm not an idiot, but you can definitely tell when a team knows, like, hey, this is our window. Like, and when you're at Pitt State, you could argue that every year is your window. But looking at that, and when you see these teams make certain moves and they add in this talent from different squads, and especially I think a great tell of that, maybe not with you guys as much because you don't play a lot of out of conference, but when you look at these teams and who they're scheduling for their out of conference games, right? Like Grand Valley and Mines play this week. That's going to be probably the best week 1 game. You look at some of these out of conference games, Ferris State's going to Montana. Like you've got some of these teams that if you're going to be good, like you're going to schedule these crazy games. You guys just signed a deal with Sioux Falls to have them come down and play. That's a quality opponent in themselves. So it feels like, maybe on a lesser scale, we're not talking about playing salary cap gymnastics with the Gorillas, but it feels like that is kind of the energy of, everyone around this program knows like, hey, this is our time to really go all in on this. And we have to do that if we want to get the result that we want.
Yeah, for sure. And just like last year, we went 11-0. We got the GLIAC in our region. So you got Fair State and Grand Valley State. They were ranked 1 and 2. We were probably like top 4, top 5. But we went 11-0, won our conference, and we were still third in our region. So we realized like we'd have to play out of conference. So that way, we could build our out of conference strength of schedule. So that way, when we go into the playoffs, that could help us maybe get like a home game instead of going up to Ferris. Maybe Ferris would have come to us. So I think our coaching staff and our athletic director, Jim Johnson, did a great job of recognizing that and just making the move. So that way, like when we get that opportunity, maybe we can get more home playoff games. And I mean, nothing gets the jungle rocking like that.
That's big, dude. Yeah, and defensively, I'm talking about the other side of the ball. You guys hold opponents to under 100 rushing yards last year per game, which is like that's a nice little stat right there. Like you talked about, that defense was suffocating, even against some of those squads in the playoffs. That first round playoff game for you guys, they pitched a shutout. I'm pretty sure, right?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was shutout. If they scored, it definitely would have been the late fourth quarter.
Yeah, I want to say that was a big old goose egg on that. But that defense is intimidating to play against for a lot of these opponents. Only 12 rushing touchdowns on the year. What is it like practicing against that front seven, obviously making your unit on the other side of the ball a lot better?
Man, it's a great test. I mean, like you just said, like holding people under 100 yards, they do a great job. I mean, obviously lost a couple linebackers, but they do a fantastic job just doing like what they're asked to do, and they really helped us out on offense, especially in some of those bigger like games against Northwest. I mean, we probably had like 6 or 7 3 and outs in the second half, and I mean they probably played like 20 minutes of that second half, and they did a tremendous job even when they were tired, just pushing through and making plays. I mean, when you gotta go see T.J. Davis from Nebraska Kearney and Braden Gleason from Emporia State, those guys are on the Harlon Hill watch list, deservingly so. But like when you go play opponents like that and you're able to hold like T.J. Davis, I mean, he's like the Lamar Jackson of D2. You hold that kind of offense like that under like 100, 100 yards. But I mean, obviously that's big praise for TJ Davis, but if you ever get a chance to check him out, check his highlights out, you'll see what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Dude is shifty.
Bet it up.
They got a new head coach, but I mean, Northwest, they did a great job against Northwest. They just did a great job in those big games, just capitalizing and just making big plays when we needed them.
Yeah, stepping up, dude. That's big time. You guys are going to do it a lot this year, I got no doubt. I already know the answer to this. What is, at the end of the year, we fast forward, what does the end result have to be considered a success in your eyes for this squad?
Like you said, you know the answer. National championship. It's my senior year. Obviously, I'm playing with a lot of other seniors. We have nothing to lose. National championship or bust. I mean, it's the same mentality from last year. We're carrying it on to this season, and we're just focusing on being all in and all forward. Our head coach, Coach Wright, he uses this little like graph of like Mount Everest and how like these people that climb it start out base camp. They got to go up to camp 1. Then I got to go back down to base camp to get acclimated. And it's basically just like taking these progressive steps. And we're starting from base camp. We're starting all over again. We're not happy with the success of last year. It's easy to be content and satisfied, and I feel like when you have a slump. So, yeah, it's a national championship or bust, and I got 100 other guys that have the same mindset.
Yeah, base camp. That's good. I like that. You got all these FCS guys in the front line there. Is that going to be – you have a bunch of hogs up there, dude. It's going to be one of the bigger lines in that league.
Yeah, we definitely added some more size. Joel Stevens from Eastern Illinois. Okay. He's like 6'8". New center from West Texas A&M. He was a 2-time captain, 2-time all-conference guy there.
Okay.
Zane Madison, that dude can move. When he pulls, he in the open space, that dude is moving. Then the blue ball, he came from Northwestern State, which I believe was in the Southland. I mean, he's looking pretty good. He was tackled there. He does a great job. Great set. Probably not the biggest. And then the last guy we added was Aiden Chance. He's also a guard. And I'd say he's about 6'3", but yeah, I mean, that's just adding more size and depth to the big O-line we already have.
Absolutely, dude. It's going to be a dangerous unit. Y'all going to be dangerous here. Trase, I'm excited to have you be a part of this thing with us, and then obviously following you, man. You got a couple fans in us over here, brother. I appreciate you coming on tonight. That's all I got for you.
Man, I appreciate you guys so much. You guys do a terrific job. At the end of the season, I'll have a little bit more free time if you want me to help break down some O-line, D-line play with, your teammate.
That would be clean. Awesome, that would be clean. I like that idea. I'm going to pitch that to him.
Yeah, that would be awesome, man. I love what y'all are doing. Keep going. And that setup you got over there is sick.
Yes, dude. Thank you. Trase, you're the man. Problem, man. Yeah, I'll talk to you, brother. Have a good night.
Yeah, man. You too. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Of course. I appreciate Trase joining us. We're going to keep right on the D2 side of things, fellas. Talk about another offensive All-American in the D2 level, former All-American, that being this guy right here. Tyson Bagent, the new QB2 for the Chicago Bears. This guy has looked incredibly poised and cool, calm, and collected, all the C's, in the professional football world. It looks like, from an outsider's perspective, he's locked up this backup job. Because if you scroll down from our tweet here, from Ari Mirov here, it says, the Bears have informed quarterback P.J. Walker that he is being released. Walker got $2 million guaranteed from Chicago, but couldn't hold on to the backup spot during camp and preseason. $2 million guaranteed for a backup quarterback, and they still have the balls to cut him. That part for me was pretty surprising.
Shit ain't sweet.
It's not, dude. Like, they're willing to take a $2 million minimum loss to get you off of their roster.
That must show how well Tyson Bagent must have played.
Right?
Yeah, he was playing really well.
Because I'm going to assume P.J. Walker didn't play that bad because we've seen him play in the NFL.
He played a ton of meaningful football for Carolina last year.
Yeah. The past couple years.
Yeah.
I think the past 2 years.
Yep.
So Tyson Bagent must have just balled out all of camp and then did well in the preseason games too, as we saw.
Yeah, and we'll look at his stats here in a few minutes, because we always look at with quarterbacks, right, his numbers and ratings and all these things. But, yeah, P.J. Walker's a dude who has been around. I'm sure it will probably land somewhere. He's been playing some type of professional football for years now. I mean, remember him with the Roughnecks? He was the best player in the league. He was the most electric player in the XFL, dude. I don't know if you guys watch him play at all.
Yeah, I remember him. And then he got a shot in the NFL.
Uh-huh. Yeah, him and Sam and Darnold kind of went back and forth, and I know you and I haven't talked about it. He had that game of his life. I think it was against the Lions.
It was.
He threw for over 300 yards.
Yeah, it was pissed me off.
It was, because you're watching this, and you're like, this dude is like a journeyman quarterback.
Was that the game last year?
Yeah, wasn't it?
I think so.
just tearing us up,
Yeah,
dude.
I think so.
Him and then their
Jeez.
2 running backs too, just
Yeah, that game
tearing
sucked.
us up.
That game
It was
sucked.
embarrassing to
It
be
was
a Lions fan.
That's not the first time you've said that. Probably won't be the last, but this year we have a lot more hope. But
Damn.
sticking on the talk of Tyson Bagent right here, here's the stats for you.
Just wait till he's the starter and
within-
Justin Fields is a bust. Shout out Jimmy Martin.
Oh, Shepherd
Justin-
Football's tweet says he is him. 156 passing yards, 20 completions, 2 rushing touchdowns. Did they spell rushing with the C? Am I reading that correctly?
Bro. Let's get a zoom in on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rushing touchdown.
Hear me now and hear me clear, Shepherd Football. Get it together. Spelling it wrong. We call yourself a university.
That is not a great look. Someone did not proofread that. But the numbers themselves do speak pretty highly because when you think about it, those stats for 2 games for a quarterback, you might think, oh, that's not great. But think about how many opportunities he's actually got because they were splitting time between a handful of quarterbacks. Fields obviously got his touches. Then you look at P.J. Walker, and then is it Nathan Peterman was the other one as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you talk about 4 guys that are all
Interception
getting
king.
shots. Yeah.
The legend
Now-
himself.
Bagent did have an interception. They did not include that on this graphic, of course. But he did throw an interception, I believe, in the most recent preseason game.
Probably less than Peterman.
Probably. That's not hard, though.
He loves those things.
Him and Dak.
Oh.
No, Dak's not throwing one all year, he said. So
No, he did not say that.
I think he said like under 6, under 5 or 6.
Yeah, okay, Dak.
Didn't he?
Yeah, well, in practice,
Maybe.
we saw like 6
per
of them
game.
recorded. Yeah.
Per game.
We're going to see like, he's going to throw like 30 picks this year.
Oh, Jesus.
Game 6, Trey Lance is going to come off the bench, and the rest is history.
Yeah. Dude, Tyson, though, if you've been watching, like, he has, like, we talk about how he's, like, cool, calm, and collected. Like, he has that composure, I think, is really important for a quarterback. But then he goes and, like, rips off a 15-yard run for a first down or runs into the end zone.
Yeah.
And he's, like,
sneaky fast,
he
too.
is, and then afterward, it's always, like, he is,
Yeah.
like, don't get it wrong.
Fired
Like,
up.
he's got composure, but the dude has, like, moxie to him, too, because he's a fucking winner. Like, that's just what he is.
Yeah, I was watching him on Saturday, and the dude
How
is just
big is he?
comfortable as shit on the
Do you
field.
know?
Yeah.
Like, how he's not really undersized, is he?
Tyson Bagent is listed at 6'3", 210 pounds.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
That's a big
That's
dude.
actually, yeah, it's
That's a big dude.
yeah. I mean, for the NFL, it's not crazy,
For a
but
quarterback,
For a quarterback.
that's a good sized quarterback.
I guess when you look at it now, right, because the smaller statured quarterbacks have become much more of a norm. I think 10 years ago, that's a very average sized NFL quarterback,
Oh, yeah.
right? But now when you talk about guys like
I mean-
Baker, who has been balling out, by the way, guys like Kyler, guys like Russ, guys like, you know,
He's-
that.
Towers over Kyler.
Yeah. Baker, I don't know. I saw you made that face. Baker's been balling.
In the preseason.
I'm just saying.
How many games has he started in the NFL? He should be balling in the preseason.
I'm just saying. Baker's back.
Okay.
Let's stick on the Buccaneers for a second. Ronnie Brown, the running back from Shepherd, a teammate of Tyson Bagent, currently with the Bucs. He's got this preseason 12 carries, 33 yards, which for me was really surprising for Ronnie Brown because anyone who saw him play in college at Shepherd knew that this guy, anytime he touched the ball, was a potential home run. Like he might have had the most elite speed on that Shepherd team that has placed multiple dudes into the NFL just this year. Joey Fisher's another one that I guess we could talk about a little bit, the tackle for the 49ers, who's seems to be carving out a spot on that roster. But Ronnie Brown in particular, 12 carries, 33 yards. I was surprised that, keep giving a guy like that chances. Eventually he's going to bust through and just make something happen, I guess. But I don't know if you guys knew anything about him.
I didn't know. Like, I feel like I haven't heard as much about him as like Tyson Bagent and
Yeah, and that comes with the quarterback position, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
But I knew of him because of being on the podcast, obviously, but
Yes.
I didn't know much about his game, and I didn't know that he was like an explosive type running back, like what
Yeah.
you're saying.
No, he definitely is. And looking at his stats from this past season, I just pulled them up here. I mean, he ran for almost 1,900 yards. He had. Let's look at some of his long touchdown runs in these games. Like these numbers I'm about to rattle off are like individual game long runs. So looks like here a 48-yard, 73, 85, 76, 61, 75. Like
Jesus.
in each of these games, he's busting off a huge run in each of these contests. So that for me was like the biggest piece of his game that I saw. He had some pretty proficient stuff out of the backfield, as well. Like a couple of these receptions are going for 60 and 70 yards too. So like he has some crazy speed where, like I said, he literally is a home run shot every time he gets the ball in his hands. So I'm assuming it's just one of those things at the running back position. You just have to keep getting fed the ball until you just get the one that goes. I think there's not really much a better way to say that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Otherwise, or the other Trevor, not the one sitting in the seat, Trevor Nowaski, Saginaw Valley. Got two Saginaw Valley guys to talk about today. Trevor Nowaski, the linebacker from SVSU, still with the Lions as far as we know, right? That hasn't made any of those cuts.
Seen.
Yeah.
Most of the predictions have him making the team, too.
That'd be pretty sick, dude.
That'd be awesome.
I mean, talk about that linebacker room, too. The last couple of years, some of the picks they've got in there. Rodrigo, obviously, being a late-round pick and turning into the player that he was last year as a rookie for them. Anzalone kind of being the veteran leadership for them. They bring in Jack Campbell this past year, who now has some super high expectations.
Yeah. And he'd have the best name in that linebacker room by far.
Anzalone is pretty cool. Right? First name is Alex. I mean, that's not really anything crazy.
I was talking about Trevor Nowaski.
I know, but I'm saying I'm trying to compare.
Funny.
I'm trying to compare. That's why I laughed. Jesus. Right now, he's got 10 total tackles, 6 solos in their preseason games. So has been out there producing. I don't think he's made – similarly, I don't think he's made a ton of headlines. But at a position like that, do you really need to? Right?
No, I don't.
You don't – usually a linebacker doesn't get a ton of headlines. Unless
and if they do, might not be a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like Jack Campbell's getting headlines because he was a first-round pick.
Absolutely.
Like he has to.
Yep. And Trevor Nowaski was a UDFA, an undrafted free agent. So, yeah, that's big time. The other Saginaw Valley guy we'll talk about is Nick Whiteside. He's a cornerback. He's playing for the Commanders right now. He's got 2 solo tackles listed, but obviously at corner, that's not really what you're getting paid to do.
Right.
He had some really big PBUs in their most recent preseason game. I don't know if you saw a couple of those plays he made right on their sideline. Was pretty sweet, like to get the reaction from all the guys over there. Like, they seem to love him over there. I've seen a ton of great stuff coming out of their camp about Whiteside and what he's been doing. He's listed as 6'1", 200 pounds, so he's got a solid frame on him. He was an All-American out of Saginaw Valley. Fought a couple injuries while he was playing for the Cardinals, but we had the chance to play against him a couple times, and I will tell you that our receivers did not have a lot of success when he was in the field. So, pretty sweet stuff. On the other side of the ball, Keelan Harris, wide receiver from Oklahoma Baptist. He's with the Falcons right now. He's got 7 receptions for 76 yards. Gavin, you said he led the team.
Yeah, he balled out in their last game.
There you go. Led the team in receiving yards, I think, right?
In receiving yards, yeah.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Oklahoma Baptist, man. Before I read about him, we talked about him a couple times in the pod. Before I read about him, I didn't know much about that squad. So they can come from anywhere, man. If what's the saying? Like, if you can play, they'll find you.
Yep.
You know, if you can play, damn it, they'll find you. Finally, though, we talk about this guy a lot. Caleb Murphy, the defensive lineman from Ferris State, which, by the way, we didn't mention Austin Sealer, the Ferris State alum, just got a 3-year, $36 or $37 million extension with the Miami Dolphins.
Big time.
Holy shit.
Shout out to him. That is big time news. That is so crazy, dude.
Yeah,
that is like, obviously, any money you make in the NFL, like any $1 million is life-changing, so I don't want to make it sound, but that is life-changing, family-changing money.
Generations of 36 mil. Come on now.
That is a huge deal.
Cash.
Yeah. So the tandem of Sealer and Christian Watkins, right? Those
Wilkins.
two. Wilkins, thank you. On the inside there for the Dolphins, like, they fucking love them.
Yeah.
And for good reason.
Yeah, they're both great.
Yeah. Wilkins also gave potentially the best soundbite in NFL mic'd up history. Do you remember?
I don't remember exactly what he said, but I remember it being hilarious.
I said edges! And then it cuts to the next play, and he's coming down on this, like, you know, the line's all going like a zone right, and he's coming off the back end of it, so he's trying to close the gap, and the running back goes and makes a move, and he goes, oh. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Oh. And he just falls. And it cuts him on the sideline. He's like, he broke my ankles, bro. My ankle's still out there, bro. Oh, my gosh. I said edges. Oh.
Almost as good as the Joe Hayden. I lift weights.
Yes.
And then the next clip is him getting pancaked.
Smacked.
Just getting smacked.
That's why you can't say that, bro. You never know where they're pointing the microphone. They got dirt on you. You know what I mean? Like they got, what do you call that? Like, they just got shit on you that they could pull up at any time.
Yeah.
Those NFL films people are crazy. They hold on to receipts. That's what it is. They got receipts. And they pull up their receipt whenever it is convenient for them. Sometimes it's the next play. Sometimes it's the next year. It doesn't matter. As soon as that happens, you trip up, they're going to pull it up. That's funny. But Caleb Murphy, the more current Ferris alum, 8 total tackles, 7 solo, but the number that stands out for him, guys, 4 sacks.
Yeah, you got a sack every game.
3 tackles for loss, 4 sacks for him. From an outsider's perspective, looking at their camp and the news that's come out of it, it seems like he's locked himself up a roster spot.
Let me get that. How many total tackles did he have?
8.
8, and he had
4
sacks.
So quick math would suggest.
And 3 tackles for a loss.
Yeah.
So 7 out of his 8 tackles were behind the line of scrimmage.
That's good math. That's why we have you back on the pod.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
impressive.
Hell yeah.
And that's impressive.
It's crazy. Like, those are numbers that.
That's just
yeah.
like he didn't have the best combine. I remember
Pro
like,
day.
Pro day.
Because he didn't get to go to the combine.
No.
I don't think.
He did go to the combine.
Did he?
Yeah,
Maybe I'm tweaking.
and he didn't have very good numbers.
Yeah,
but then
I
it
know
shows sometimes it doesn't matter.
If you can game,
Yeah,
if you can play,
they'll find you.
they'll find you. If you can play, they'll find you. Yeah, dude. I mean, those are numbers that you would expect him to be putting up at Ferris State, like playing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like playing against
Me.
against. Yeah. That's pretty good. That was funny. No, we would not expect those numbers against you with that ankle, maybe, but
Yeah,
you'll be
I
straight.
keep going after the ankle.
you just bashed me. How about your knee?
Going for the
funny.
neck.
How's your knee feeling? Huh?
That is funny. So the combine, looking at the combine stat, because yeah, you were right. They had him listed at 6'3", 254 pounds, wingspan of, or no, it says arm. That's not wingspan because it's 32 3/4 inches. What is that measurement?
I hope it's not his wingspan.
I'm gonna say 30. I was about to say wingspan, like 32 inches. That's crazy, dude. What is that measurement? Arm? Is it just like one arm? Like a reach?
Yeah.
It's got to be, right?
Did you say 32 inches?
32 3/4. Yeah. And then his hand is 10. Do they do hands for everybody? Is that? I thought it was just like a quarterback and wide receiver thing.
I think they do it for everyone now.
They do? Interesting. But his prospect grade was a 5.69, which says the candidate for the bottom of the roster or practice squad. 56, below average. Like we said, I don't mean jack shit.
Yeah, it's kind of like also the example. I don't know if you saw him. He was that wide receiver from UCLA. I think
What's his name?
UCLA. It's a weird last name, but he ran a 4.99, and he in the preseason for the Seahawks.
Which, obviously, for wide receivers, bad.
Oh, wait. I think I know who you're talking
Yeah,
about.
I don't.
like Jake Witt had a better 40 time than him.
Well, Jake Witt is also a freak.
But I'm still saying Jake
But yes,
Witt
he's an offensive lineman
is an offensive lineman, and there's been many offensive linemen
that have had better than a 4.99. Yeah.
But he still had a touchdown, like a 20-yard touchdown the other day in the preseason game. And he, torched the guy that was defending him.
That might be the most embarrassing. Like, that guy might have gotten cut as soon as that ball went into the air. Like, it didn't even matter if he caught it or not. That ball was in the air, and he had 3 steps on him or whatever, and you're like, you're not making it.
Yeah. But I was just using that as another example of,
No, yeah, for sure.
the combine doesn't mean everything.
Absolutely, it does not. Looking at, I guess, staying on D2, Wayne Cavati, we've showed a lot of his stuff on this particular program. He put out a watch list for the Harlon Hill Trophy. He's got 22 players. Just wanted to brush over some of the names, that being the D2 equivalent of the Heisman Trophy. And the one in the picture right there, guys, the first one on this list, do we know who that is? Do you guys, either of you know who that is? Come
I
on.
have a bad angle. I can't
Do
see
you?
anything.
He won it last year, is your hint.
Oh,
Come on. John Matoka.
I was thinking Mines.
Yeah, you got your quarterback from Mines. That's John
Yeah.
Matoka, the quarterback from there. He won it this past year.
He's back, right?
He is back for the Ore Diggers. And how many combined yards do you think he had last year, as in like rushing and passing?
4,800.
4,800 is a good guess. What do you think, Gal?
I'm going to go 5,000.
5,221 combined yards.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
That's how you win a Harlan Hill Trophy.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, he beat out Caleb Murphy, who broke the all-time NCAA single-season sack record. Which
I would argue he probably deserved the Harlan.
a lot of
Hill,
people
but,
would argue that. There's only been one defensive player to win the Harlan Hill Trophy.
Wow.
And no one else has even come as close as Caleb Murphy did, as far as the voting goes and the finalists. But
I mean,
That's the obvious
he
pick.
held the record that Terrell Suggs had for like how many years? And
I don't even know how long.
probably 15 at least.
Because he's been retired for
at least 3 or 4
yeah.
years. And
he played for a stint
long,
in the league.
long
yeah.
time.
Holy
And I'm
shit.
sure Terrell Suggs, when he beat it like, I'm sure it was like a long time standing record too.
Yeah. And obviously he wasn't a D2 guy, or else he probably would have won the damn Harlon Hill too.
Yeah.
Shit.
Oh, for sure.
But his also, I think a big piece for him, his favorite target from last year, Max McLeod, is back, who had 18 touchdowns last year.
That helps.
Matoka had a ratio of 52 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. That is incredible.
That's pretty good.
He's exactly 40 touchdowns shy of tying Tyson Bagent's all-time career mark of 159 touchdowns. So it sounds like if they go on a run again, there's a chance he breaks Bagent's record. That was a record when they said that, they're like, oh, this is not being touched forever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how they always say shit like that, but that'd be something.
Unbreakable record.
Yeah.
I mean, if he has another year like he did last year.
Which is going to be tough, you know?
Well, yeah.
Colorado School of Mines quarterbacks have won 2 of the past 6 Harlon Hill Awards.
Damn.
Did not know there was another one. I want to buzz through some of these other names, though, that I think are worth mentioning. Brandon Alt, the quarterback from Bemidji State, who came out of the woodwork last year. He's battled injuries and finally got onto the field and went through a solid season. He put up insane video game-like numbers last year, and he's been a finalist the last 2 years, but in the last 2 years, he's averaged over 4,000 yards and 42 touchdowns. Then you look at probably the best running back in Division II football, being from Virginia Union. That's Jada Byers. We talked about him a little bit. Obviously, it's a quarterback mostly award. He ran for 2,000 yards on the ground, had 21 touchdowns in 2022.
Did you just say 2,000 yards on the ground?
1,920 technically, but I rounded up.
That's a lot of yards.
That is crazy.
Shit
That
ton.
is crazy.
Yes. Which is really wild. And you know what's even crazier, Trev? He's 5'7", 180 pounds.
Do you know if Virginia Union went to the playoffs last year?
I do not. Do you want to check on that for me?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Because I was going to try to figure out how many
Yeah.
many yards per game he averaged.
That's a great question. Gunning through more of these names on the list. TJ Davis from Nebraska Kearney. That's going to be a player that I would assume is going to step up and have a really big final year here. They are poised in that top half of the MIAA. Devin Garrison from Pittsburgh State. They're talking about him being the best tight end in all of Division II. I mean, for a tight end to be on this list is crazy. A tight end has never won the Harlon Hill in its history. This guy, though, definitely fits the bill. He's 6'6", 228 pounds.
Where is he from again?
Which one?
The
Jada Byers?
The tight end.
Oh, this is from Pittsburgh State.
Oh, okay.
They
They did go to the playoffs, by the way.
did.
First round, they lost to Wingate.
Ah, that's right. Okay.
So they played.
Would that be 12?
They only played 11 games.
11? Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah, what's that math in our heads real quick? Like 1,920 divided by 11.
172 yards a game on
That is
average.
video game.
God.
That's unreal.
Bro, that's above video game.
Yeah.
That's if you're playing on like
That's my player.
rookie, dude.
That's playing rookie mode.
That's crazy. Some more names for you guys. Braden Gleason, the quarterback from Emporia State. We've got Marquise Grave from Southeastern Oklahoma State. Jack Mango from Concord. Trey Stewart, another big-time running back. This one's from Limestone, though. Same kind of area there. Jordan Terrell from Barton. And then I wanted to throw out some of these defensive names because some of these guys are pretty big-time. Deshaun McCarthy, the defensive lineman from East Stroudsburg, he's a guy that just made the Reese's Senior Bowl watch list and also has garnered some other preseason like All-American accolades and things. One of our sponsored D1R athletes, Abe Swanson, is on this list as the this watch list for the Harlon Hill. Now
That'd be hard to do as a linebacker.
yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say.
What would you even have to do to win it as a linebacker?
You might have to intercept the ball and then like make a passing touchdown afterwards or something crazy. You know what I mean?
You'd have to have like a touchdown a game,
Like a defensive touchdown a game.
a defensive touchdown a game,
And then break some other record.
and have like 15 sacks and like 15 forced fumbles, and to still even be in the top 3.
Yeah. Clay Schiffner from Winona State's on here, and then Trey Vauvel from Minnesota State, who we just had on the show last week, and Wayne Cavadi said that he got the nod because of his versatility, because not only does he help the secondary, he says he should be one of the premier returners in D2 football this season for the Mavericks, who are, I believe, at like they're somewhere in the top 10 right now as far as rankings go. So very curious to see how that all shakes out. Karst Hunter is also a name to watch on this list, the guy we just had in the last episode, the new quarterback for IUP. I think he's a question mark because we talked about a lot of the uncertainty that comes with the grad transfer quarterback going to a new system, but you can expect to see really big numbers. Cade Peterson also on that question mark kind of list. The biggest thing with him is he just lost their two best pass catchers in this offseason to Texas A&M and Vanderbilt, I believe, right?
Yeah.
I think so. Or was it Wisconsin? I know one. I forget which one was the DB.
I think the DB was Vanderbilt, actually.
Yeah. Either way, they went up, right?
Yeah.
So.
And then didn't they have someone else go to a MAC school?
They very well might have.
I think they had a receiver.
You know, they had someone committed to a MAC school, and then I think he flipped. I think is what you're talking about. Because I thought it was like Bowling Green.
It was
and then I think they flipped, though. That was one of the guys we're talking about.
And then where? He went to Wisconsin?
I think that was the one that maybe ended up at Valpo or not Valpo, excuse me.
Valpo.
Vanderbilt.
Man, you...
little different. A little SEC, Pioneer League.
Yeah, I'm going to...
Marginal. We were going to talk about Valpo actually in a second here because I wanted to talk about some Week 0 recap NAIA football. And let's get the easy one out of the way. Indiana Wesleyan beat the shit out of Lawrence Tech this week. 56-7.
Not a good look for the Blue
That's
Devils.
not a good look for the Blue Devils. Not a good look for any American football team.
Bad.
Wow.
I mean, I know Indiana Wesleyan's notoriously a very good program.
Yeah, they're top 10 team in the country right
Yeah.
now. So,
But, come on,
man.
Put
come
up a
on,
fight,
Lawrence
please.
Tech.
pretty sure it was at home, too, for Lawrence.
What a home opener. The stadium was empty at halftime. Nobody. Even the coaches left, dude.
Damn. That's a tough look.
Terrible.
That's a tough look. Indiana Wesleyan has Valpo next week, so that should be an interesting game because that's like that. Those games are always interesting because the competition level is very similar, especially when you have a really high-end NAIA team going against that very low-tier D1.
I could see Indiana Wesleyan winning.
Oh, absolutely. That wouldn't be ridiculous, I don't think.
No,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, probably the best game. One of the best. There's two really solid games. One of them was Taylor. They beat St. Ambrose 37-34. And that game was, like I said, at least from the score-wise, looking at it, that was one of the best games. I'll pull up the box score here, and then I want to talk about their schedule, too, because their next 4 games are going to be pretty crazy. But looking at the box score of this one, the biggest number that stands out right here, guys, and I think the biggest reason that Taylor probably came out with this one, you look at their first down breakup here. They had 6 passing first downs, 19 rushing first downs.
That's efficient.
That's crazy. They were 100% efficiency on 4th down, 3 of 3, 42% on 3rd down, which is not crazy. They ran for over 300 yards, though, compared to a little over 100 for St. Ambrose, and their time of possession was 37 minutes compared to 22 of St. Ambrose. So, and that game was a 3-point game. Wow. If you looked at these stats and you didn't show the score, oh my, dude, Taylor had 88 offensive plays to 48 from St. Ambrose. They had 40 more offensive plays than their opponent, and they won by 3 points.
That's crazy.
That's not right.
Want to know something?
How does that not make sense? It doesn't make it make sense.
Taylor threw the ball more than
yeah, because they had 40 more offensive plays.
That's crazy.
That is so wild. Yeah, really. I mean, really good game though. So shout out to Taylor. But I want to talk about the rest of. I will not say the rest of their schedule, but the next couple weeks for them boys are pretty tough. Looking ahead, I wanted to say. Oh, so they have Concordia, Ann Arbor, this next week, which will be an interesting. Concordia, I think, is ranked pretty highly. I thought potentially. It probably depends on the poll. But then looking ahead past there, you go at Butler, at Dayton, so 2 technically Division I opponents.
Yep.
And then you go 2 home games against St. Francis in Illinois, who's top 25 team, and then versus Indiana Wesleyan, who's number 5 right now in the country.
That's a tough schedule.
It's a gauntlet. But
if you survive the gauntlet,
then you're going to be straight. Yeah. If you have 88 offensive plays, I think you'll be all right.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Midland, they won over Clark 22-14. Bluefield holds on at home versus Florida Memorial 50-47. That one was a shootout.
Or they just decided not to play defense, apparently.
They may have done that as well. That
They
was like
actually
Big 12
didn't even-
risk.
They actually didn't even put a defense out there, I heard.
They were playing seven on.
Yeah, they were playing Air Force
football, yeah.
Yeah, or whatever they play in Maverick.
Yes.
In Top Gun Maverick.
On the
Yeah.
beach. That's great.
They're just going both ways, scoring touchdowns.
The other really competitive one that I wanted to talk about, Morningside. They hang on versus Benedictine, 20-17. That one was crazy because Morningside, obviously from the G-Pack out there in Iowa, that was a team that is picked at number 2 in the preseason poll to go on and win, being right behind Northwestern, who's in their conference. They went to the quarterfinals last year, lost to Kaiser. They were 11-1. They start league play next week. But Morningside and Benedictine, man. I mean, we've talked about Benedictine a little bit. Try saying that 3 times fast.
Is it Benedictine or Benedictine?
Benedictine.
How do you know?
Because I've just
'Cause you
watched
know?
enough. Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Well, remember, were you on the episode with Chim?
No.
Chim Okorafor. He was an offensive lineman from
I
Benedictine.
know who he is.
Yeah, so
I just
he's with
wasn't
the
on it.
Eagles right now, which is really cool. At least it's the last I knew, he's with the Eagles. So that's when I started to kind of pay attention a little bit to them. But looking at I want to look at the box score here a little bit, see if anything really jumped out to me. But definitely a key win for Morningside. Again,
Ooh.
you look at these stats. Their total offense, 405 yards to 222,
Yeah.
and you're only winning by 3 points. So I don't know if this is a red zone thing, guys. Like, we got to put these things away, dude. Like, we got to finish drives. Net rushing yards, 150-50.
That's
the
not
score?
good.
Is it special team? It's 2017. They won by 3.
What the fuck?
Like, is this a special teams thing? Why are these games so
It's
competitive?
not making sense.
No.
Oh, you want to know the major difference?
What's that?
Benedictine punted the ball 8 times.
Oh my god.
Really?
Punter getting work in.
He punted for over
Any of them get
300
blocked?
yards.
That sounds like special team players of the week.
Yeah.
In whatever, I don't think they're.
They
they're not in
got.
the
They
same
also got
conference.
sacked 5 times, and
I'll set it
had
back.
had 2 picks and
That's
a
good.
fumble lost.
Okay.
So that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's part of it. But then how do you not? So Benedictine had all those stats you're saying right now, though.
Yeah.
So how are they still?
Oh.
How is it a 3-point game?
Yeah. How do you not smoke them?
You have all those opportunities.
Morningside had 3 fumbles lost.
I think they had 2 interceptions as well. Actually, a couple of
And
pair of
2
interceptions.
interceptions,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
So
this
they had
game was just.
They had 6
It's
turnovers.
a shit
to,
show. Got some things to clean up, boys.
Was it pouring rain? Was it actually just mud coming right out of the sky? Like, what the fuck is going on? Oh my gosh, dude. That's it for NAIA, though. I want to touch on some of those games because those are some really competitive ones to start the year. Week 0, college football wise, though, guys. We'll finish on these last 2 couple bits. Notre Dame versus Navy in Dublin. Did you guys get the chance to watch any of that one?
No, I saw the score and I was like, no.
I walked in after
It was
I
bad.
sprained my ankle on Saturday, and I was like, oh, I finally get to watch some football, though. at
And
least.
the game's over.
And it was 42-0 in the 4th quarter.
Oh, man.
And I'm like, well, guess I'm not watching any
Yeah.
football.
I mean, I guess the obvious takeaways from this one, Sam Hartman in his first start with Notre Dame, he was efficient as hell, 19 for 23, 250 yards, 4 tuds. Their starting running back, Audric Estime, 16 carries, 95 yards, and a touchdown. He was a pinball, I should
You know
say.
why they won?
Why is that?
Sam Hartman's necklace.
Is that
the
finished,
red
though?
one.
Do we know if that's finished?
Yeah, I saw a picture of it.
You did?
I swear I did.
Did he have it on the sideline?
I don't know about all that, but I
Where'd you see that? You might have to pull that
think
up.
I saw it on
quick.
Instagram.
I think he was wearing it.
No, he was not.
In the game would be crazy.
Shut up. He's not.
Hold on,
Could you imagine?
Also, he's
Would that be intimidating as an opponent, or would it just be weird?
weird.
Yeah, I think
Also,
so.
he's like 38 years old. He should be
That's
doing well.
true.
Come on.
He's actually 24.
I
but-
saw a great tweet from I'm blanking on his name from the old Michigan State quarterback, the blonde kid at NIU,
Oh,
Rocky.
Rocky Lombardi.
Yeah.
He just put out a tweet and said like, starting my first day of 19th grade,
Jesus.
and he's like, I've literally been in the education system longer than some of my teammates have been alive.
That's yep, here it is. It's on Notre Dame's Twitter.
Can you throw a link on the rundown and I'll pull it up quick?
I want to make sure.
Or just send it to me on the. Just let me know what you do. I'll pull it up real quick. But that running game,
I saw another really quick. I saw another stat that I guess it's not really a stat, but Sam Hartman's 24 years old and playing in college still. Anthony Richardson is 2 years younger than him.
And is a rookie in the league now.
And is a rookie in the league, and he's starting.
That's almost as crazy as the Stetson Bennett stat that we just saw. Did you see that one about that linebacker?
No, I saw the one with Sony Michel, how much Sony Michel has done. When
because he's retiring now.
Yeah.
But no, Stetson Bennett is a year older than, I'm blanking on the name of the linebacker, but who's his 6th year in the NFL.
Oh, my God.
What?
Just so you guys know.
Did you throw it in there, Gav?
I can't feel my foot
I texted
anymore.
it to you, but I'll...
Oh, I don't have it on my phone.
Oh, shit. I'll put it in the...
Yeah, throw it on the rundown. I'll pull it up quick.
My foot has fallen asleep.
Your foot?
And I can't feel it anymore.
Oh, that's funny. Did you see the Dublin Stadium, though?
It was sick.
I loved it, man.
It was cool.
The people seemed really into it, too. I mean, it seemed like the atmosphere was actually really solid.
Well, one, it was like Notre Dame, which was probably really cool.
That's actually, no, you're right. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
And then
I did not think about that. Why didn't I think about that?
It's like the first...
Did you see the staff that they carry out?
What?
Notre Dame?
Notre Dame. They were gifted to it from a tribe in
Are you serious?
a tribal
Something electric as shit.
in Ireland. Native Irish people.
It's dope as fuck.
Joking. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. No, I did not see any
Look
of
it
that,
up.
dude.
Just look up Notre Dame
I'm trying to find the
staff.
I'm trying to find his necklace.
I think you're going to get just...
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna get the
you're
staff
going to just
direct.
get your staff members.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to. That might not be the search that I want.
Shout out to the athletic trainer. Dude.
Yeah. No, it was pretty sweet, though. The fact that they're able to go over and do that is pretty cool. And Marcus Freeman talked about how, he said, oh, this is the global impact of Notre Dame football. And I guess that didn't really resonate with me, but it actually does make a lot of sense.
Oh,
yeah.
they must really like football in Ireland.
Wait a minute.
They're definitely not the Fighting Irish.
They're the Irish. Where did you see that, Gavin? I can't find it.
What?
The necklace. I want
on
to see
Twitter.
it. I want to see it so bad. I'm scrolling through theirs right now.
Check the document. I put it in there.
Oh, you did?
Stuff to react to.
Oh, bet. I didn't see it down there. Okay, bet. Here it is.
I mean, it's just it shows it quick in the video.
Oh my gosh, that's it?
Yeah.
It looks like a fucking shark tooth. Are you serious? That's his rib?
I think it's just a part of it.
Obviously, it's not his full rib.
Can you imagine they had a
Dude.
full rib hanging off?
That's what I thought it was going to be.
That's
originally.
what I thought. I thought they were gonna thread the string through the rib and it would kind of hang. You know what I mean?
So that's just
head.
pieces of his rib.
Yeah.
So all those little bits are. Then there's the megalodon tooth at the end of it.
Megalodon is crazy. I would assume. I think
guess.
that's how it is.
Look at that.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that.
If you didn't know what that was, would you assume
I would
shark
think it's
tooth?
like a shark tooth. I would
Thank
think
you.
he got that at
Some tourist
gift
shop for sure.
I got this in Traverse City. Dude.
Traverse City.
I don't know. They got random shit.
They don't have a shop.
They
They can ship them. They can ship them.
Not like Lauderdale,
Miami,
yeah,
anywhere in Florida
California.
or near an ocean.
That shit is crazy. What's the rest of the video? Is that highlights?
It's just Sam's face.
In slow mo. He's a handsome chap, isn't he? What is this video though? Why do we really need to see him though? Yeah, okay, he's a good looking dude. Did we really need to get a slow mo shot of this guy?
Sam's like, I got a video idea. He sent this in.
You think he pitched this shit to the
He made it
creative?
himself.
Hey, I'm gonna need y'all to post this out right now. All right. My NIL deal with Baby Back or with Sweet Baby Ray's is riding on this video being posted. We should set that up. That'd be funny as hell. Sweet. Otherwise, week 0 games. USC, San Jose State, 56-28. That game was way more competitive than that for the longest time. Why? I didn't get to watch much of it. I just saw the crazy couple throws
Yeah, I
from
just
Caleb
saw
Williams.
a couple of
It
heard
wasn't
that
on
USC
TV
defense
here.
was
Yeah, it's on Pac-12
Brutal.
Network. We
That's
can't
so
watch the reigning Heisman winner.
That's so stupid. One, Pac-12 Network or whatever shouldn't even exist anymore because they're
Pac-12
not a
Because they're not a
conference.
Done.
conference.
they don't exist. It does, there literally isn't a
Did
thing.
you see that Stanford and Cal want to join the ACC?
Judas
Yeah,
Priest.
get the hell out
How
of here. dude.
How would you have someone on the Pacific Coast be in the Atlantic Coast Conference?
Dumb as
I
shit.
don't know.
And then I saw someone like tweet on it. It was like they'd have to call it the Any Coast Conference.
Any coast.
That's good. No, that's good. Looking into halftime, though, like USC's up 21-7, and right before the half ends, San Jose State comes back and fires back. Now it's 14-21 going into the half, and everyone was like, oh, shit. USC came out and scored twice, and San Jose State would answer with one more touchdown, but then it kind of got away from them. Caleb Williams did finish with a solid stat line. He's 18 for 25, 278 yards, 4 tuds. I mean, I think he'll take that just about any night.
Yeah.
No interceptions. I mean, that's...
It was probably their defense.
Yeah, that's what I was reading. That their defense was kind of...
Yeah, you think they just, like, is that one of those things? I mean, it's a week 0 game. That was aggressive.
That hurt.
Just grabbed your chest.
I thought my heart was gonna pop out after that.
Holy shit, buddy.
I'm falling apart, guys.
You are. Is that one of those things, though, week 0, that I feel like they always talk about the defense has to, quote-unquote, settle in?
You
right?
know, also, USC's defense sucks.
It's also USC. We didn't even think this is fucking USC. This is not Iowa. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're not going to be a team that their defense is going to go out of their way to win games for them, right?
No.
They have to keep them in games.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it feels. So,
why was USC bad? Like, they weren't bad, but what held them back last year?
Yep.
Defense.
Exactly. No, you're right. You're right. Last piece for today, NFL side of things. Matt Stafford, I said in the beginning, he wants every single cell phone in the LA Rams organization and facility to be destroyed. That's actually not the case. But Dov Kleeman will give us a little bit of an update on what is the real deal going on over there in LA, allegedly. He says here, update, hashtag Rams. Quarterback Matthew Stafford admittedly has a tough time connecting with his younger teammates on the team. Quote, I don't know how to lead people I have no connection with. I have to somehow find a way to connect with them. Stafford even went to the equipment guy to get a book printed of all their faces and all their names because he said, I need to know their names. We need to talk. So I'm going to find their names and I'm going to say, hey, so how are you and how was your weekend?
He's clowning, dude.
Dude, he has to
He was
be.
talking. There's a bit. He was talking about phones. He's like, everybody's faces in their phone. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
you sound 80. You got face chat?
He's just
Snapbook? Like, dude, get out of
You
here.
think
Part of
there's a
my
shred of
language.
reality to this, though?
Stafford's just being
Probably.
a bitch right now.
He's not even that old. He's like 35, dude.
Yeah, you're not that old.
Oh,
I mean, I get you just got Instagram, but fucking relax, dude.
He literally just
Also,
doesn't-
yeah, he probably is just a cell phone hater because he's
Yeah.
always been like
This generation.
anti like social media. Like,
Have you seen his film set up at his house?
No.
No.
So he has like his own like dedicated office in his. I mean, he has a bunch of random rooms in his house because it's big as fuck. But he has this office in there that he's got all of his football stuff in, and he's got like his little tablet and all of his stuff. And he gets like, I don't know how they have it set up, but he's plugged into all their film and like it's like his whole film study room. And I guess he just spends like, and he's always been super analytical and anal about that stuff. But he. Apparently, they say he just locks himself in there. Like, that's his place. He probably doesn't even bring a cell phone in there with him. It's probably
not.
like Aaron
Do you-
Rodgers going on sabbatical or something.
Yeah, the darkness retreat.
Do you think he's just like grouchy all the time and like?
I mean, if I broke my back playing last year or whatever the hell it was, I might
Yeah,
be too.
dude, his back is. It's like, dude.
His back is being held together by a couple
Was
of
it-
paper clips.
Yeah, it's
Was
in
that
pieces.
trade a steal for the Lions?
They won a Super Bowl, Trevor.
Look at him. Now.
Yeah, but like in
They
the
can't-
long
their
term, the
Did
quarterback-
you hear their GM? Their GM literally said, fuck them picks. Do you remember that? He wore
Yeah.
she made a shirt out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, in the long term, the
But-
Lions won it. 'Cause
Well,
look at the
that's
Rams
yet to
right
be
now.
determined, I think, right?
I mean,
Their quarterback doesn't even know how to talk to their
So
other
far.
players. Are you kidding me?
look at last season.
Allegedly.
and where we're going right now. It's
yeah,
looking
this can't
like-
be real.
Depending on how the
A
Lions do
grown
this
No,
man,
season.
yeah.
a grown man still knows how to talk to other individuals.
He's got
I think this is a classic case of a shred of truth that probably about a comment that he made jokingly that has been blown out of
I think he just
proportion.
blew like
Yeah.
a book printed of all their faces, bro. Just put in more effort.
I have heard that, like, I think it was Sean Payton. I was listening to what I was listening to, but I think it was the Saints that used to, like, everyone would get a book. And
Of
you'd have-
everyone's names and headshots?
Yeah, and you would have to know, but you wouldn't just have to know your team. You'd have to know every person on staff for the New Orleans Saints.
That
Really?
sounds-
That's impressive. That'd be hard.
I think it was
That'd
the
be hard.
Saints.
How
yeah.
many people?
Because when you
is
get
that,
into
man?
talking about, obviously, the entire coaching staff, but then the support staffs and the
Yeah.
trainers and the video people and the
Wait, literally the entire
marketing and
staff?
all.
Yeah.
Like, if it literally is everyone in the building, there's no way But if it actually was,
But it was like, I'm telling you, it was like everyone. So then they could like. So then I don't know.
you're talking like, yeah, that's it's
I mean,
quiz.
I mean, it's not.
You're on the. Hey, bring you in here, Trevor. You're on the bubble, but if you pass this, we got 2 offensive linemen taking this quiz. They get the 53rd spot.
Imagine being on the bubble and your roster spots depends on if you know the guy in accounting.
Okay, it's not literally everyone, but it's everyone they had contact with.
The intern that runs the TikTok. What's his name?
You know, Bill, he's been working here for 35 years.
35. What does he do? Well, he's we don't really know.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Now that we think about
He's
it.
been here though.
He's here.
Great smile. Great smile on him.
That's what people say about Kobe Manzo.
We don't know what he does. He's just here.
He's just always here.
Great
in the dome.
smile though.
He's always smiling in the dome.
Great smile.
We don't know what he does, but
Assistant director for morale.
assistant to the director of morale.
Who would be the director of morale? That's me. I'm the main. Thank you, fellas. It's been a good one. That's all we had. That's about it. I'm excited to see some more D2 guys hopefully balling out here as we get into regular season action. Is so close, dude. And who to kick it off but the Lions and Chiefs, man.
Hell yeah.
Woo!
It'll be a game.
That'll be fun. Thank you for listening. It's been D1 Rejects.